This is a tutorial for Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're going to take a look at flying the Beechcraft King Air. It's one of the best aircraft in Flight Simulator, one of the turboprops which you can use to visit the scenery. So let's take a quick look. First thing we're going to do, we're set up here on the runway. Flaps already set. So we'll go ahead, we'll release the parking brake and give the engines some power. Once you're moving at a reasonable speed, just pull back a little bit on the controls and the aircraft lifts off. That'll bring the flaps up. I'm just going to hide the yoke for a second so I can bring the landing gear up as well. The next thing that confuses a lot of people is the autopilot system. The autopilot in Microsoft Flight Simulator is meant to act more like a real autopilot than the ones that existed in previous versions. And there's a slight difference between how you make everything work. So if you want to hold an altitude, for example, in the old Flight Simulator, you just turn on the autopilot, click altitude, and it will fly that altitude. Now it's a little different. The more proper way is to put on autopilot, set an altitude, so I'm going to set, say, 4,000 feet, and then you turn on vertical speed, and set a vertical speed. Now you can see there, for example, I've set a vertical speed of 1,000 feet per minute. So the aircraft catches that vertical speed, and when it gets close, it changes to altitude mode. There's nothing more for you to do. Working it on heading mode or navigation is the same as always. If you want to put your heading on, just click heading and turn to the setting you want, and you'll see that the aircraft does the same. Now the King Air has a feature that many of the other aircraft don't, and that's this touch screen here right on the primary flight display. What you can do is you can split it in two. And you can do that quite easily by touching on the navigation display here. And it shows you what the navigation display uses as a source. You can use the FMS, you can use localizer 1 or 2. Also, you can decide if you want the bearing pointers turned on or turned off. That'll also display down here what they're pointing to and give you your DME. It also gives you a timer if you want to use that to, if you want to, for example, fly a certain leg for X number of minutes. Now the problem with this display is it is a little bit finicky. The other thing you can do is you can bring up the other page, and I did that. I'm not sure if you saw that. I did that by hitting split. Just brought up the select page here. You can then bring up the map. You can bring up your direct to, which allows you to set a place where you want to go directly. You can also, by just clicking through the options down here at the bottom of the screen, you can enter your COM1 frequency, your COM2 frequency, your navigation frequency. You also get the list of the nearest airports, the nearest VORs, if you wanted to tune them in to your navigation. So, for example, we could say the nearest VOR for where I am right now is the Lakeland VOR, which is 116.0. So we would just go in here to the nav1 frequency and set 116.0. Make your way, you can see it from here, 114.8 distance DME. You also have two maps that you can use, especially this one on the center screen is nice because it's bigger, and you can use the plus or minus to zoom in or out, and then you can just drag it to scroll around as you want. And you can go to practically anywhere in the world, and then if you want to recenter it on your aircraft, you go to this little button right here that shows a plane, just click that, and it shows your aircraft again. And then you can go the other way if you want, and zoom right in close out of the various facilities that are right in your region. And that's basically it for the King Air. I plan to do tutorials like this for several of the different aircraft. So if you enjoy them, if you want to learn more about them, maybe just give this video a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to the channel so that you know when new ones come out.